Hi, my name is Paul. Um, I'm thinking I'm going to talk about life. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to say, but whether I have something to say that's worthy or not, I'm not sure. I guess for me, um, aging has been a learning process. Um, I understand things now that didn't even enter my head in my younger days. Um, and I value different things, like um, what used to mean things to me when I was in my teens, 20s, 30s, 40s even. I'm 68 now. Um, cease to have much meaning for me now, but other things do. And they become pinpointed and very meaningful. So that at this time of my life, when you might think that it's time to just sit back and wait for um, death, no, that's not happening with me. I'm finding this time of my life, at 68, the most rewarding, satisfying time I've had in my entire life. And it's not that much happens. Um, I don't interact with a lot of people. The friends that I do have are good friends who I connect with in a very good way, and it's not that I go out in the world and do a lot of things. I guess what it boils down to is that I am now content, or fairly content. Whereas previously in my life I have never been. So that's been my journey, a journey of learning, um, where I always kind of did have this belief that at some point in my life I'd find a kind of a peace, a kind of a contentment. Am I happy? How do you gauge happiness? What is happiness? How do you read happiness in others? Is it the smile on the dial, or the laughter coming out of the mouth, or the sparkly eyes, or the what is happiness? I personally prefer to look at state of being in terms of contentment and a kind of a peace. Is that happy? Well, happy means so many things to so many different people, and what we sometimes perceive as being happy actually isn't in some cases, and in many cases probably. Um, we have this. I think it's true of our culture. I'm not sure in other cultures, but we have this idea that happiness is a sort of buoyant bounciness, exuding energy and giving off good vibes here, there, and everywhere. Um, the reason I prefer the idea of contentment and being at peace within myself and happy in my own skin is that it's not shallow. It's not a portrayal for the benefit of others. It's not trying to be anything. It's not trying to please others. I guess it pleases me in my case because I can rest easy within my own body, within my own space, and think and know that this is me, who I am, and I'm happy with who I am. There's the word happy. Happy with who I am, though. Not happy as presented to the world in the normal sorts of ways. And sometimes, when we're feeling down, depressed, words such as, come on, cheer up, or snap out of it, or come on, don't let the side down, are not only not helpful, but they put a huge burden on people, an expectation that somehow you have to be a certain way in order to what? Please others? How about pleasing ourselves and going with whatever it is that we're feeling at any time? For example, if we're feeling down, a little depressed, a little stressed, why not just ease with those feelings? Allow them to be and own them, and not present, as far as possible, not present a face to the world, a mask, so that others can have their egos or their nerves soothed to know, oh, he's all right, he's shining a light. Well, life's not always like that. It's very difficult sometimes. And it's difficult for all of us at times. And we don't necessarily feel like being a happy chappy or a happy lady. And if we don't, why would we even try to please others? Really, it doesn't make sense, because if you go through life like that, you present a happy face to everyone in the world, but in fact, some of the people that do that are the most unhappy, as we see with some comedians who very sadly end their lives, and others, when they apparently seem to be quite buoyantly vivacious people, etc. So, I think it's important. We owe it to ourselves to own whatever it is we're feeling. And you know what I've discovered is that it feels much better, if I'm feeling a bit down, to own that feeling of downness and allow it to be. It won't stay there forever, especially not if we own it and allow it just to be for however long it wants to be. That feels much better than doing what you're encouraged to do. Present a brave face. That feels terrible to me. That's a lie anyway, when you look at it honestly. So why wouldn't we give ourselves a break, do ourselves a favour, and just be true to ourselves, to go with whatever it is we're feeling at any time. That's what we have feelings for. They're ever changing, ever moving. If we try and keep them steady, for the sake of pleasing others particularly, well, that's not helping us. That's not helping anyone, and it is a lie, in all honesty and truth. I know it's easy. It's perhaps not easy for many to do what I've encouraged people to do, as I try and do myself. Own whatever it is you're feeling, because we've had, if it's anything like me, we've had years of upbringing within the family or the school or friends or classmates or workmates or socialites and others, institutions, where we're expected and have been brought up to own the masks, really, to own the masks and to present ourselves in a certain way to the world and others, so that we keep everybody else in a state of buoyant happiness too, which may or may not be happiness. So it's kind of like, why do we bother? Why do we bother? It's a nonsense, and it's really quite amusing in some ways. But it's not really at the heart of it. It's very sad because we owe it to ourselves. We only have one shot at this life as far as we know. And even if we had more, the world's not looking good to be here if we have another shot. So, life is short. Do ourselves a favour. Learn to, not worry what people think about you. And actually, you'll learn a lot more respect for it. And I think you will find, as I have done, with owning whatever it is I'm feeling, that you not only gain respect, people acknowledge you for who you are, and that is where the reward is. If they're acknowledging you for a mask, or for something that you're not, or for some presentation that you make to the world because you're compelled to meet the expectations of the world and others, then you're getting rewarded for something that you're not. And it's not rewarding or satisfying, and it is bloody meaningless. I've been there. I've done it. I've lived it. It is bloody meaningless. So why would we bother? People won't like me if I suddenly own that I'm feeling a bit down. Who cares? You'll learn to like yourself a lot more because you're treating yourself better. And others will learn in time that you're not shitting around with them, and you're going to own who you are and what you're feeling. And like it or lump it, this is me, take me or leave me. And this is really worthy, I feel, and a worthy thing to learn in this life. Because, as I say, it's a short life, and I got to this age like that. It seems only yesterday I was 40, and I can recall my school days like they seemed not long ago at all. So, don't waste your time here, and I wasted a lot of my life, I must say. But now, never ever again will I go there and do that. Because, as I said, my life is more rewarding, satisfying, meaningful as a result. And it's not like it's a hugely involved life. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to be here, there, everywhere, into everything. If you're comfortable in your skin and happy with who you are, that is sufficiency itself. And these are good things to learn, I feel, because it is who we are. And if we're not living who we are, who are we living? We can't live anyone else. Everyone else is taken, as the saying goes. So we have to be ourselves. And to be yourself, you need to own who you are. So there it is. It's choices. And maybe if it all does sound alien and out of this world, well, maybe it's little steps along the way. So that you don't have to jump in the deep end. That may be a bit intimidating for some, but and maybe out of reach of many. But that's all I have time for this time. I'll further this discussion in a subsequent talk, and that's if you're interested. I'll put it there anyway. Thank you.